Welcome, everybody, as we review the 2023-2024 season of the LA Chargers. It is What's Up, Bolts? It is Fernando Ramirez, Gilbert Manzano. Gilbert, are you supposed to be here?
Yeah, I was just thinking that I'm looking around. I don't think this is my show here, but I guess I got to take over because your brother Dan is a slacker. He just takes off to Nashville, doesn't even care about the Chiefs and the Chargers, Easton Stick and Blaine Gabbert. What a slacker.
I know, and I mean, the question is, is he? We got. I mean, we we really have to check if he's back. So
He might be recruiting a head coach out there in Nashville, though. If he did that, then I would respect the move.
let me check. Is he back? No,
I knew it. What a flake.
He's not. Let's try one more time.
Let the music change.
Your boy's here. Your boy is here. Look at this. Look at this. Fresh off my excursion in Nashville. In terms of your question, yes, you are correct. I started pounding at Nissan Stadium. I said, let me in. I got to talk to Mike Vrabel. I need a head coach. Bring me a head coach. 100%. 100%. I was out there working. I was out there scheming.
So when the Chargers announced interview schedule with Mike Vrabel, we should credit you, right? You got the interview scheduled.
I'm not a guy who likes to take credit, but you know what I mean? I gave that little push, that little nudge. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why would you want to go to New England? It snows. It's cold. You don't have a quarterback. Come out to LA, my guy. You have the stars, the lights. You have
no.
What more do you need than the son of Odin? God of lightning, the young goat, Justin Herbert himself. I don't know what more you need. I
don't know. Bailey Zappi, Justin Herbert. It's a tough one.
Don't you dare.
For everybody who's asking,
my boy.
For everybody asking what Dan is asking, or for what we're talking about, Dan was out there doing your guys' work. He was out there and
I was doing the Lord's work.
He was out there in Nashville. Here is the quick video of what he was doing.
Let's freaking go. Jim Harbaugh wins his first natty. He's got unfinished business in the NFL. Bring him to LA. Go get that Lombardi. With the son of Odin, anything is possible. Freaking Alberto, I don't want to hear nothing about my picks. Nostradamus struck all season. Just like Jim Harbaugh, I wake up and piss excellence. Shout out.
You must have been conflicted with Jim Harbaugh and then Mike Vrabel being available, and you're out of Nashville. Who do you want, man?
Oh my God! When I've seen I was talking to my coaching buddies who I was with. Shout out Brock and Romeo. I was like, this is what they prepped us in the Cold War. This is the nuclear holocaust right here. This is Armageddon. You know, what type of world are we living in where Bill Belichick's not in New England, Nick Saban's not in Alabama, and now obviously Pete Carroll not at Seattle? Like, it's absolutely crazy. Like in my opinion, hey, exactly. Shout out Jorge, my guy. Shout out. In my opinion, right? You could throw a freaking Burley. You could throw a dart at a board with these four pictures. I don't think you'll miss. But
before let's get into some of this though. We want to do so the reason why we're doing this is we want to do an end of the year review. We hadn't done it. We wanted to get in and talk about some of the best and worst moments of 2023. I'm sure Dan would go that there's more of the latter than there is but let's just talk a little bit about it. Dan, just give me one. What do you think was the best moment of Oh God, what was the best moment of 2023?
Best moment of 2023? I don't know. I can't say that there was one really, because you know what? Here's the best moment. They locked up the 5th overall pick, I guess. That's about it. I mean, like seriously, we talked about this, and again, I know I get ridiculed. You know, I'm a shitty ass coach. I don't know what I'm doing. You know, people like to say I don't have good takes. I was very skeptical of this team to go into the season. You know, I think the record reflects it. And it's like you started off exactly the way you could not afford to. And it's like, and it just spiraled out of control very quickly. It's like there's moments in seasons and games, just like in your lives, where you have to take control of the moment. And really it's a fork in the road where you're either going to go the right way or the wrong way. And I think they went to the wrong way from the beginning. You know, I don't think Kellen Moore was everything he was hyped up to be. I think shout out to the Cowboy fans that were kind of letting us know on that one. And we got to see it firsthand. So, best moment of 2023 when they locked up the 5th overall. Hopefully they get somebody good. We'll see. I'm not a draft guru. I'll leave that to the experts up top. So I guess that's all I can really say, really. Because I'll tell you what's the worst, seeing Justin Herbert go down. That doesn't make me happy at all.
So that was your worst?
That was the worst by far. Screw the record. It is what it is. Seeing the son of Odin go down, it takes years off my life. I can't do it.
Gilbert?
Yeah, it's hard to compete with the top 5 pick, from the to go up, but they were like 8, 7, 6, and go to 5th. Shout out to Gift Smith and Easton Stick on that part right there, holding it down at the end. But I'll give you a game, I guess, and it kind of shows how bad the season went. But early on, that Minnesota game, Justin Herbert was dealing in that one, back and forth, Kirk Cousins and Herbert, the son of Odin, right?
That's right.
Keenan Allen having a monster game. Mike Williams as well. He might have got hurt in that one, right? Unfortunately, I think it was. I forget.
Wide receiver screen.
Yeah, so it was one of these games like at the making of a very explosive offense, and I'm not even sure did Austin Eckler do anything in the game. I don't know. Maybe he did, but it felt like that was a game. Okay, the potential was there, and then it just went down after that. But that was a good game for Justin Herbert. I think at the time people were trying to criticize him early on in the season, and he was just dealing. I think he was like maybe 2 incompletions in that game against the Vikings. So that was a good moment. And then obviously the worst of the absolute worst. I'm sorry to bring it up. 63 points, 49-0 at halftime against the Las Vegas Raiders. Amazon Prime, the charging graphic, that was just a bad day. But it led to changes with the coaching with Brandon Staley and the GM Tom Telesco, who actually has an interview or had an interview with the Raiders.
Hire him, Las Vegas. He's great.
So that is an interesting wrinkle there. But worst game, best game, Vikings game. So
the worst part is too, Gilberto, to piggyback off what you're saying. The Raiders scored 0 points the week before, if I remember right.
Yeah, you're right.
0 points.
Vikings.
0 points.
Yeah.
That happens against the Bills, Miami. People can look past it. It's quote unquote high powering offenses. By the way, how'd you like Tua throwing into double coverage for a pick? Who could have called that one?
What was it? Monday we were doing the Lunes Live and people were just crapping on Tua and Trevor Lawrence.
People were like people on Monday were dedicating that show to you. Like,
really?
They were like, Dan's right. Like,
what was funny? So we were at the convention all day. I said, shout out to this guy. Hey, you can, my guy. If you say your sorry, my bad. Eat your vitamins. Oh, damn, I messed that up. That's not bad, Jorge. I messed that one up.
Eat your vitamins and say your prayers, brother.
There you go.
Oh, is that it? Okay, I thought there was a third. I couldn't think of the third. But what was funny, right? Sunday, we were at the convention all day. Didn't see any football. All I saw was a little of the updates. I still don't even know what the Trevor Lawrence thing is. Who cares? I was drinking and listening to country music the whole time. But while we were pre-gaming at our Airbnb, we were watching the Dolphins game. And, of course, my boy Romeo over here just be Contreras to root against what I'm saying. He's like, Tua's the GOAT. Like, watch this. Then, like, the next play, double coverage INT. I was like, it is unlike you to back losers. I don't understand what's your problem right now.
Cat Williams, I got the reference.
Shout out, dude. Yeah, I was hoping you'd pick up that nugget. I watched 2 hours and 46 minutes of that. I'm not even gonna lie.
Are you serious?
You know what's Shannon Sharp's laugh? I can't stand it. That is so bad.
Is it worth it? Me watching? I only see the clips on TikTok.
You probably already got the summary. So
all right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you don't really. The only thing. Yeah, I say it's worth it because I mean it's always interesting to me. Like you find out where Cat Williams comes from and all that. Because I completely forgot. I'd forgotten about him because I haven't seen him in anything. So that stuff's just always interesting. I'm a nerd.
I saw this Chargers memes put this Emmanuel.
Oh yeah.
Justin Herbert to Emmanuel Ocho.
Y'all want to listen to him talk about me? Fine, but let me leave you with this before I get on out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, you know why he's talking about me? Because I get him clicks. That's what he's been reduced to.
Y'all big facts. That's big facts.
But let me.
Who's he actually talking to?
He's talking. They're talking about Justin Herbert to Emmanuel Ocho.
But he's talking about
but in reality.
He's talking about who cares about that beef. I don't even know what that is. Who cares? But that's 100%. Like I sent recently some of the takes over there from Speak First or whatever the hell it's called.
Speak.
It's unbelievable, dude. How are these people employed half the time? Like, these takes are so bad, dude. Like,
but I think best and worst, I think it's gonna be the same game. Well, I guess best for a lot of people was that that Vikings game, but I think best is probably gonna be, and a lot of people that Baltimore game is best and worst. Best, you held Baltimore to 13 points in 3 quarters, and then worse, you ended up losing.
the defense was not the problem that night, you stooge. You stooge bastard over there.
At the same time, though, it's like that's like games like the Miami game, the Vikings game, the Lions game, the Baltimore game, like they all gave you a glimmer of hope of what that team can be. They're not a bad team. They're just poorly run and a bad bad coached. I mean, they could compete. I mean, Baltimore, they blew out some of the top teams in the NFL. They blew out the 49ers. They blew out the Lions. They blew out a lot of these teams.
Dolphins, Seahawks.
The Dolphins, yeah. And the Chargers competed with them until the end. And it's just like that's why they're saying that they need to get this right. So I guess that game had a lot of meaning for me because I was watching that game and I'm like, are you guys seriously gonna come? Like, are you guys really like? Because at one point Justin had the ball and I was like, no way, are they really gonna go up the field and they're gonna beat Baltimore? Like, are you really gonna? Because there's always a game where the Chargers win the game and you're like, oh crap, like, but yeah, no, definitely. Real
the funniest
quick,
part too. Oh, there you go. Harbaugh is GM, Carroll is head coach, Vrabel is DC. See, that right there is sick.
Jimmy, I like the way you think.
Yeah, we were trying to come up with that.
It's Fox.
All their takes are bad. LMAO. That's true. Burly.
Evening.
This is my Irish bud, right? I think that is. Right. I was drinking Jameson the whole time, dude. I was drinking Jameson the whole time. Shout out.
We'll get to the draft in a bit too. Our lad from Ireland.
Oh, Gilbert, real quick. I did see Athir had one Kirk Morrison. Kirk Morrison used to play in the NFL.
Yeah, I think Athir has an issue with Kirk Morrison telling us, Vic and I, that Jim Harbaugh probably gonna stay at Michigan, and Chargers fans are not pleased about it. But hey, but there's a lot of good options now. That's, Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel.
Yeah,
I saw a meme before we jumped on where it made me laugh, but like, no offense to Matt Eberflus, but like, Bears fans are probably like struggling.
Oh, I heard they're up in arms. They're pissed about all the coaches.
They got Vrabel, Harbaugh, Belichick. I keep going on and on.
I'm gonna tell you right now, though, this is very dangerous because if Harbaugh stays at Michigan, Vrabel goes to New England, Belichick goes to wherever. Essentially, if they miss out on all 4 or 5 of these, that's gonna be a nightmare, dude. That's gonna. Hey, Al.
Jorge, they can get him at any, like they could hire him today. As long as they've met the Rooney Rule, they can hire him at any point. But I think I saw Jack Harbaugh told the Messenger that he was going to take about a week off to decide what he was going to do. But I mean,
it's not a bad thing because you get to actually like do like a proper interview and just to see who's out there, and then go back to gym.
I mean, and Jorge, we'll get into all that right now. So basically, what we're gonna do. Well, yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get into that now. Okay, Dan, real quick, you're being asked, what do you see happening with Joey Bosa in the offseason?
I was talking about this on the last one. I think it's really hard to keep him with the price tag that he is. Just because it's such a cutthroat league, I would see, honestly, them either cutting or refinancing or restructuring or whatever.
Refinancing?
Just because
a new car loan or what?
I forgot about that. Just because, and honestly, this is my thing, right? I think Joey Bosa looked the best when he was kind of used as a specialist, and I forgot what game. Like, he made an impact. But it's like, bro, like, they're not paying you 30 or 40 mil or whatever he's getting paid to be, a third down guy or whatever else. Like, I just think right now, if you put Khalil versus him right now, Khalil's more worth it, even though he's the older guy. He's been available. He's been on the field. That's 2 seasons in a row, I think, for Bosa where he was sidelined and everything else. So I think right there, the math's not mathing with Bosa for these guys, especially, who knows, new regime. They might want to clean house. try and get the cap back to normal, and then really go out next year or the following year after. So who knows? I honestly think we did this game. I thought he was gone and Mike was gone just because Keenan and Mac have been so available and still productive. So
yeah. So basically, when it comes to everybody's asking about the Pete Carroll situation.
Yeah.
This is what Pete Carroll said yesterday about his situation. Let's hear what
that's it for now. And I'm freaking jacked. I'm fired up. I'm not tired. I'm not worn down.
exactly.
You did your best. You didn't wear me out. I'm, it's the end of the season. I'm supposed to be, go lay on a cot somewhere. I ain't feeling like that. And, there's what's coming. I don't know. I got no idea. And I really don't care right now. But I do. I'm excited about it because there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to study. There's some great discoveries that are going to come our way. And as my all-time mentor, Bud Grant, said, not in so many words, there's rivers to wade, there's waves to catch, and there's mountains to hike. And it wasn't exactly how Bud said it, but I get it. And
Gilbert, I think he has more energy than you do at 72 years old.
Yeah.
But so in the press release that the Seahawks sent out, it sounded like Pete Carroll was going to take a front office role. The way he sounded there, it sounds like he still wants a coach.
Wanted to coach.
So why the hell would not, if you're the Los Angeles Chargers, why would you not want a Pete Carroll solution? Like, why would you not talk to Pete Carroll? Why wouldn't you talk to Mike Vrabel? Why would, like, the four horsemen or whatever you guys want to call them
Of the apocalypse.
Either one of those four, like you talk to all four of them if you're them, if you're the Chargers, just to gain of who they are. But I really think that they are and honestly, I think there's still going to be some head coaching openings. I don't think we're done because the playoffs, a lot can do. The Buffalo Bills and Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys, if they flame out one and done, they could open up. They could be opened up, but definitely, obviously the Chargers number one, I think, is still Jim Harbaugh. But I think Pete Carroll might have jumped to number two if we're being completely honest, because Pete brings a lot to the Chargers. But Gilbert, what are your thoughts about all this?
And going back to your joke about the energy, I'm not even gonna laugh because it's true. And I'll give you a quick story because I went to go visit with the Seahawks in training camp, and after I'm done, I met with Pete Carroll for a bit. Great to me. Talked to me for about 20 minutes, and he was so energetic. But he was like, you know what, we have the roster, but we still have to see and to see how it gels. It kind of was like a foreshadowing, but like he wasn't too sure how it's going to all come together. It wasn't the best roster, but it wasn't the worst season. But then I went up to the field and I had to do a stand-up video, and I'm fumbling my words. I'm trying to do a nice take. And I look behind me as Pete Carroll just throwing the freaking football to his kids and just like
slinging it.
Go that way. It's just a bunch of energy. I'm like, dude, you're in your 70s and you're after practice throwing the football with your, I'm guessing, grandkids. So, and like you mentioned in that video, Fernando, he definitely was pushed out a little bit. And he's, you know what, I want us to be an amicable ending here. Both sides are okay, but I really want to coach. And from what I've been reading too, Fernando, it kind of felt like maybe because he's been stuck in the NFC West with Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay, and he keeps getting his butt whooped by these two young kids who are offensive geniuses. So maybe he goes somewhere else. He still has to deal with the Sean Payton and has to deal with Andy Reid if he goes to the AFC West. But it's a different situation where, like, you have a Justin Herbert and you have some pieces there. So maybe it could be something. It's like, if you're okay with doing it for 3 to 4 years because he is in his 70s and you want to try to win something now. And maybe he learns a little bit of his lessons. Like, hey, the way he was trying to do it wasn't really working. Get an OC. Maybe you could lure a Dave Canales from the Buccaneers to be your OC with Justin Herbert, and you can make something happen in 1 or 2 years. And why not? Like you say, Dan, if it's 1 or 2 years and you win a freaking Super Bowl, you will not care.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter anymore at that point. I'm not selfish. I'm not selfish anymore. I can't do it. All I need is one.
Yeah.
Just no.
But yeah, no, real quick, as of right now, they haven't said anything. I think they're still interviewing.
You got
like,
the
it's
list,
been in-house.
You got the list by any chance from the interview so far?
it's been in-house, just their in-house guys, and then
If Kellen,
Raheem
Kellen,
Morris.
Giff.
Steve
No, they have
Wilkes.
no. Those are guys that they're scheduled to interview.
Yeah, Steve Wilkes,
Oh.
Dan Quinn. Is that about it?
Yeah. And then wait, I have the list right here though.
Yeah, because I saw Patrick Graham's name on there too.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
But that could be a plan. Who knows? Maybe the Raiders are sending him. That way we suck further. Who knows? But just going back to
Brandon, they interviewed the first person that they've interviewed is Brandon Brown, assistant general manager of the New York Giants. Yeah.
Young
That's
dude.
what
I saw he's 35 years old. Like, damn.
I'm too impressed with that Giants team, so I would stay away from that. But going back
some
to
guy was
Carroll,
like, some guy tweeted at me, no more Brandons. So, so they have meetings scheduled with Steve Wilkes, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, Todd Monken, Dan Quinn, Patrick Graham, Raheem Morris, Brian Callahan, Leslie Frazier. Very surprised that Mike McDonald isn't on that list.
Yeah,
where's Leslie Frazier right now? Is he still in Buffalo?
No, he's he got fired.
He took a break for a year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jeff Ireland, Terrence Gray, Brandon Brown, Adam Peters, Ian Cunningham, Jeff King, and Will Clay are
no Frank Smith either. Like no Mike McDonald.
I mean, I'm sure
I'm gonna go ballistic if they don't interview Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel. And I don't know. Oh, and Jim Harbaugh, obviously. Like, I'm seriously gonna lose my mind.
No, well, I mean, and everything. Most of this stuff happens behind closed doors, so
no back channeling. That's how I get screwed. No more. That's how I don't know.
We don't know.
But I just wanted to say real quick about the Pete Carroll thing. Like, to be honest, I said Harbaugh.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to hit him with it.
Yeah. There you go, my guy. Shout out to you. But going back to the Pete Carroll thing, I understand, has lousy events the last few years, even with young talent, that would worry me. Totally get it. But I think, the guy has done a lot of good work in Seattle.
Oh, you're right. Michael Jojo Wooden as well. He's been interviewed as well.
Jojo. Despite having, the Geno Smith experiment and everything else, like that team has weapons. I think they were more than anything a quarterback away. But, sweet music to my ear. Shout out to you, Jorge. But it's like, I think Pete Carroll, I think the biggest problem, like you said, is the fact that he's already in his 70s. Who knows if he'll be there another 8 years or whatever else on another team. And to get the running around, speed up the process to get Jim. Hopefully, because I'll tell you one thing, like, I think, like, again, this is going to be very dangerous for the Chargers in the sense that, like, can we get another hill? Let me recoup a little bit. My guy, 4 nights of straight drinking and country music. We basically lived at Aldean's the whole time, dude. We had
you gotta rip up Jim Harbaugh if you want to,
if he comes, dude. So what was funny? I was watching the Natty at the club, right? So it's like everyone's dancing, looking at DJ. I'm like facing the opposite direction, watching the football game. I was like, I need this full. I was worried a little bit too. It was a little too close for my liking, but it is what it is. But going back to what we were talking about,
Michael Penix was
yeah. Take us with that piss. I'm out, dude. I'm out, or else I would. But going back to what we were talking about, I think the most crucial thing, and I've been saying this for a few weeks now, you have to hire a head coach that's going to get the fan base excited. Because I think you hire some first-year coordinator or you miss out on some of these guys, I think it's going to be very hard to put asses in seats because the most important thing moving forward is you need to get them energized. Like, they were already coming off of the Jacksonville game. Then
your own asses, stuff like that. Your own asses, and
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, so it's
no, because you can get other asses in seats.
You don't want that. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to get the fan base excited and everything else because I think if they don't get one of these big names, I mean, I don't even know how it's going to be. Like, of course, one of these guys could always, be the next big thing, right? Oh, it's always on to the next big thing, but. I kind of need a little more tried and true right now. Like, I think Mike Vrabel is a perfect candidate if Jim Harbaugh stays in Michigan. Like, Harbaugh stays in Michigan, I would really throw about everything I can behind Vrabel because I think what he brings is so sure if they hire a big name, the ass isn't touching a seat unless they start winning it. Yeah, exactly. Like that's going to be the biggest thing right there.
He
Like,
meant if they don't hire,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying if they don't hire,
he's correcting himself.
Yeah, because they're not gonna be there unless they start winning, which that's already the harder part. But Mike Vrabel, I thought did a lot of good work with you guys.
There's multiple people that have said that they've already met, that they met while he was here at Disneyland. But I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you know how it goes, bro. Like it's literally like probably politicians.
Gilbert was gonna say something. Let
okay, my bad.
No, yeah, I was gonna let Dan go, but I'm over here trying to think about like the scenarios. Like with the Pete Carroll one, I feel like what if he does stick around for a couple of years and they have somebody, how they always have like a young guy, like with Bill Belichick, it could be Gerard Mayo. We're like, hey, let me stick around for a couple of years and Mayo, you get the job, don't go anywhere else. And that's why it's kind of competition with Mike Vrabel and Mayo. But if Mike Vrabel is available, he's much younger and he's disciplined. He knows how to great game management. He always knows how to motivate guys. My only concern is like maybe you don't care about this, Dan, but his playbook's a little old school for me, not too up to date. But you can hire a good OC for that. And he's a guy who, like, if the OC leaves every year, who cares? He's the voice. He's going to be the one who makes the calls, discipline, motivation, all that. The rest can work. I think people worry too much about that when it comes to a defensive background. Like, you're going to lose your OC every 4 years. No, it's a great coach there. The only thing with Mike Vrabel, and I think he's deserving. I saw that the issue between the Titans owner and the GM, I mean, the new GM, Carton, he wanted more power. He said, why are you hiring this guy from the 49ers? I want to be the GM. I want to do what Bill Belichick does. So if the Chargers feel like he's ready for doing that role, and he knows how to like groom players too, or develop players. Like, Will Levis, I thought he played great. I think it's going to be so good his rookie season. So if you're going to give him some power as a GM, he also had another guy, I think, in mind that he wanted to be a GM, and they went the other way, so he could bring that person. I forget where he went. But yeah, I think these big names are going to command a lot of money. They're going to command a say with the personnel. Do you want that or not? But if it's
I do. I'll tell you right now, I do. I'm tired of seeing what I'm seeing. So, but the only thing I'll tell you about the playbook, in my opinion, I think he brings exactly what this Chargers team needs: that physicality, that edge. When you're going to play the Titans, it's going to be a tough, hard-hitting game. And I think really the reason why it was so limited is because he had Ryan Tannehill. Like, imagine Justin Herbert if you can get a run game like that.
Thank you.
He's going to be even more elite when he play actions and everything else. Because the problem is right now, offensively, Justin Herbert play actions, no one's really worried about the run game when you play the Los Angeles Chargers. Like, let's be real. They're more worried about how to contain Justin, how to contain Keenan, how to make sure he can't distribute the ball, how to make sure you're harassing him so he's uncomfortable, he's off his spots. Like, that's why, like, in my opinion, I think Vrabel would be perfect, and more than anything because, like you said, he's younger. He's going to be around for obviously if everything goes well
and you will have both sides of the trench is pretty tough too. Like that defensive front, the other side with Jeffrey Simmons and Harold Landry, like they know how to scout these hogs, man, on both sides.
100%.
So that'd be pretty good.
Andrew wants Mike Vrabel because he looks like if a player tried to get rough with him, he could probably fight back, and it would be like intimidating.
Do you think Arthur Smith will yell at Mike Vrabel if he was the one that said, "Hey, Jameis, go run another touchdown"? I don't think so. You're not yelling at Mike Vrabel. Could you
imagine? That guy still looks like he could.
You would have to use one of those things to try and yell. I don't think you can tell all that. What,
dude? Speaking of that, this tells you everything you need to know about the guy. I can't remember if it was on the Pat McAfee show, and you can dig me. That's fine. I can't remember who was talking about it on there. I think it was maybe AJ Hawk. So when AJ Hawk was in Ohio State, while Vrabel was with the Patriots, he said that he would come for spring workouts and he would work out with the Ohio State team because I think that's where Vrabel played, if I remember right. And that Vrabel would outsprint everyone. And then as soon as they were done, he would open up a pack of cigs and start smoking. So I'm like, bring me this guy to this team, dude. Bring him to me. Harbaugh, Vrabel, Belichick in that order. I agree with Jay Michael, dude. Shout out to Jay Michael. I like that list right there.
Would it be Pete Carroll number 4, Dan, for you?
Yeah, I think Pete, because I think Bill is like in his 70s too, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong.
He just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, for real. Don't get me wrong. Like,
I'm not listen to this, Dan. Dan, listen to.
Seen this many cameras since we signed Tebow.
Why do I picture if Bill gets a job with the Chargers? I just picture a laid back Bill in California sunshine. He probably walks on the beach every day and then goes
That's the
to
only
work.
thing that worries me. I need bitter New England Belichick.
We have something.
Oh, is it the Ring camera?
No, shut up. I had Boston Herald Doug Keat on Compa of the show, and this is what he had to say when I asked him. Hypothetically, in a hypothetical world, let's just say it's not the Chargers decide to bring him in. By the way, he's only 2 years younger than owner Dean Spano, so that's pretty interesting. But say that he comes in, they have a quarterback like you said. Say that the GM and the head coach are no longer here, and they bring in Bill Belichick. What would the team be getting with bringing in a 71-year-old Bill Belichick?
He would bring a lot. I kind of like that fit. I guess it would sort of depend on who he could bring in as some of his assistants. I could see like Josh McDaniels coming in as the offensive coordinator. He could make his rounds around the AFC West even more.
Imagine his closet, black, orange, powder blue. All he needs is that Chiefs red.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm sure he wishes they could go to the Chiefs and work with Patrick Mahomes. But no, I think that Herbert and McDaniels would be a good fit if that's someone that Bill Belichick would be interested in continuing to work with. I think that he could get that defense back on track. I think it might take some personnel maneuvering to get the best pieces in place to run his defense. But I mean, I think it would also bring, I don't know, I think that Chargers fans, even though Bill Belichick might have fallen off, or that's, the perception around the NFL that he's fallen off a little bit over the last few years, I think he could bring some excitement. I mean, he's still a guy who's won 6 Super Bowls here in New England, 8 overall, including his time with the Giants. So I don't know. I think that he could still use some help in personnel because it seems like that's kind of where he's fallen behind more than anything. But if he's got the right guy in place to run the offense, and he could just run that defense, get that back on track, trust someone to handle Justin Herbert. And that's not a hard, job at all. I think that pretty much anyone could get decent play out of Justin Herbert. So I don't think that's a major concern. And then I don't know. I mean, one thing that you might be getting is someone who's unwilling to spend a lot on wide receivers. So I'm not sure how that would work out, with Keenan Allen getting up there in age and some of the pieces that they're missing there. But he kind of does things an old school way as far as, skill position players go, as far as offensive line goes, as far as drafting goes. But I do think that he would upgrade the Chargers. I think that
100%, I was going to say before you played that video, I'm not one of these guys who says, oh, we need to get younger. We need to get younger. I don't get a rat's ass if the average age on the staff is 65 years old, as long as it's Pete Carroll or Bill Belichick. And the funniest part is I was talking to my buddies this morning as we were getting to the airport. I like the Navies better, by the way. I love those. Those are way better than the other ones, in my opinion. The Navies are so awesome. Like, reminds me of those LT days. But anyway,
I've seen those edits where they make Herbert like those old. Yeah. Those are actually pretty sick.
But again, I was talking to my buddies this morning about it, and I think Bill Belichick still has that fire. I think he's really pissed off. Hopefully, I assume, pissed off about everybody thinking that his success is based off of one player. Like, I think that has got to, piss him off. That's got to keep him going. There's no way he wants to go out like this where he's, 3-15 or whatever it is with the 3rd overall pick. I still think he has that fire in him. Navy's cursed. I don't think it's the Navy's, but I think it's the organization itself. We're cursed. It is what it is. But I think wherever he goes, he's still gonna have that fire. He's still gonna want to win. Like, I feel like this is like a Shaq and Kobe type thing. Like, Kobe wants to win one more than Shaq, and I think that's what he's probably trying to do, or at least tie him up. Because
to your point, Dan, like the way Robert Kraft was talking today was like, it's gonna suck to see the hoodie on the sideline. It's gonna suck to see him with somebody else. Like, he already know. He probably has conversation with Bill, like, hey, Robert, I still want to coach. And exactly. Like, not here. But so I think he made it pretty clear.
What was weird? And this is just my opinion. I saw some on Twitter. I don't know how real it is. But besides the Chargers, another 2 landing spots was Dallas and Atlanta. I'm like, I don't know why he'd want to go to Atlanta. Like, I don't really see it.
They're like the front runner right now for the betting
But
wise.
yeah, exactly. But I don't get why. Like, you're gonna have the same problem in the sense that you don't have a quarterback. You might have a run game, but I mean, I don't know what more else you have. I don't know how the defense is.
They could always trade
If
up.
he went
for a
14-3 next year, he would break Don Shula's record.
Oh, and that's the other
all-time
thing.
wins.
Yeah, and that's the other thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure he wants to break that record, so he's gonna keep going even if it kills him. But I still think what's it called? Pete Carroll probably has a lot left.
Would you have a physical for these guys, Gilbert? Like would you, like if you brought in a Pete Carroll or a
maybe
Bill
more like
Belichick?
a mental brain. Like let's see how much are you really up there. Like,
How disrespectful this
Well,
is.
and I mean, honestly, remember what happened with the Broncos? Like they first had John Fox, and then they went, I think, older, and they got Gary Kubiak.
Yeah.
And remember, Kubiak had that incident with Houston at that halftime and everything.
I think
Oh, yeah.
And well, I don't remember if they called it officially a heart attack, but yeah. And he came back, he won that Super Bowl, and that's when he stepped away and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But give me that
for a couple years and just win the Super Bowl.
Exactly. Give me that high.
Yeah.
Give me that high just once. I don't care.
And that's the thing is that like I kind of feel like you can't miss. Like you have four very good coaches out there who you get something different from all 4 of them, but still like you can't miss. I still think from what I understand, the fan base wants Harbaugh as the number 1, and I think there's a little bit of a gap. And then it's Vrabel, and then I think it's Carroll, and then I think it's Bill Belichick, to be honest. I think the thing that scares the fan base is the Josh McDaniels addition.
But he's an offensive coordinator. I don't understand that. He's a good offensive coordinator.
Yeah, but Mac Jones, kind of a dipshit.
As a head coach,
but
Mac Jones looked his best under Josh McDaniels. We've seen what's happened. Yeah. He's been ass. It is what it is.
You can always hire Bill O'Brien if you feel better about that.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. When Bill O'Brien has been on those teams, I think they lose in Super Bowls, if I remember right. I don't need any more curses around.
McDaniels does win the Super Bowl.
But going back to your point that they can't miss, this is the most important part, right? Justin Herbert is already on his 3rd head coach. No.
About to be
his 3rd head coach, and literally about to be his 4th or 5th, offensive coordinator. I'm not a mathematician. Sorry if those numbers don't add up, but I know it's around there. Are you seriously going to add some guy who's going to be gone in 3 or 4 years and you're going to be on to the 5th head coach? Like this is telling you everything you need to know of what we've seen so far. There's turmoil in the franchise in the sense that they can't get it right. Like, oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. He just takes it from Brady. Wow. He's like, oh, let me act like I'm talking to someone on the headset. Come on, dude. Jeez Louise.
But to your point, I feel like maybe Vrabel's a guy because he's younger and he has a lot of coaching left in him, and like all the chains for Herbert. Unless like either Belichick or Carroll bring in one of these young proteges who's they'll be ready in a couple of years to take over, or like something like that, like a succession plan. That's not a bad idea too, though.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, oh, could you imagine you get Bill and then Vrabel's the DC and then they just switch a rule when he beats Don Shula's record? But but that's my thing.
That's why I think he might end up taking the Falcons job. Who the hell do you have to beat up on? Like they have a bunch of dipshits at quarterback all over the place. They have a lot of money.
It's a weak.
I mean, and New Orleans.
You ain't the quarterback. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. But New Orleans is $72 million in the hole, so like they're gonna have to start getting rid of guys and I mean,
well, you know what? I guess I was thinking like trying to win another Super Bowl. You're right, because I think there he could get 14 wins at some point, like in that division. You play, morons 8 times out of the year or whatever it is. But that's all I'm saying, right? Like you can't hire someone and then in 3 to 4 years be on to the next search again. Like especially because Christmas came early this year. You have a bunch of good candidates out there. It's not like it's random unknowns, coordinators, and everything else. So I think, like I said, you just cannot get this one wrong because,
But what if they go away from your big 4 and it's like a first-timer coordinator? Would that be the end of the world, or is it like?
Of course it would be. Well, I'm not gonna say end of the world. Sorry. Let me rephrase. I'm not gonna say end of the world. I'm not gonna say end of the world because we have to wait and see. But of course, I'm not gonna be happy about it if that's your question. Like, why would you go get another? Like, let's look at the table. Let's look at the table. Since Marty Schottenheimer's been gone, they've had chances to interview Andy Reid. They've had a chance to interview Rex Ryan. You know, all these guys have had a lot of experience and everything else. They decided to go younger.
The one that interviewed the book, Bruce Arians.
Oh yeah, Bruce Arians. Yeah, they decided what was the whole idea? Go younger coordinators.
That's
to go get Mike McCoy.
Good example too.
And it hasn't worked. And on top of that, the only experience they got was Norvell Turner, who, you know, he was the Cowboys.
No. So like, no. So the Norv Turner one, they wanted a veteran to help with Phillip Rivers, and they wanted a good play caller. Well, the other one was, they wanted somebody younger because they had just gone younger with Tom Telesco. So essentially, I'm not gonna lie, I think Peyton Manning kind of chose their
even worse
and
even
their
worse.
Head coach.
Even worse. But you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Their process has not worked so far. And it's like, you can't do to Phillip Rivers, or sorry, you can't do to Justin Herbert what happened with Phillip Rivers.
You miss Phillip Rivers, don't you?
No, I do not. No, I do not. The Senate voting's way better. I'll say it till the end of time. Phillip Rivers, what was his biggest problem? Too many head coaches, too many coordinators, no stability. The best chance, you know, obviously besides, you know, the heyday with, I think he got the tail end of Marty. And then I think
his biggest problem is that he didn't have your support behind him.
Shut up. Don't try and pin this on me. I roll the tape. But anyway, you can't have that same instability through his whole career, because that's not going to mean, like, in my opinion, Gilberto, I don't know what you think. I don't know if I've already told you this or not. It is unbelievable to me that the best chance the Chargers had to win a Super Bowl was a 12-4 year under Anthony Lynn. Again, I liked Anthony. I'll take the flack. Yeah. I like Anthony. 12-4. They go 12-4. And it's not like they were playing slapdicks. They played some of the best teams in the league, had the most travel miles throughout that whole season, and they went 12-4. And in my opinion, that 12-4 team, you know, talent-wise, nowhere near the talent that we've had the past two seasons. Yeah. And that tells that, you know, it doesn't math to me. And it's just unbelievable, dude. Like,
and there you go. Jorge's the same.
Shut up. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let me do it again.
I'm gonna put that as your when
no,
you call me.
Jorge, they would not go after Blake Corum in the first
running
round.
Backs. Like, dude, the funniest part was I saw on Twitter a lot of Raider fans were like, "Don't hire Jim Harbaugh. He's gonna try and draft JJ McCarthy or whatever in the first round as the quarterback."
No, maybe it's a backup or something.
Yeah, you know, even if it's I agree with this. Like, I think they really like no O-line. Exactly. And that was my biggest thing. There was no O-line in that 12-4 team. And that's the craziest part to me. You know what I mean? Like, the only thing they had that year offensively was, you know, both Williams and then Keenan. Like, guys are incredible.
Yeah, because at least with Lynn, they were like tough and they were always competitive. He wasn't a good game manager or game management coach. And that's where like Vrabel has the same kind of toughness and competitive. Be disciplined. Don't do dumb stuff away from the field or even on the field. But when it came to the 5 minutes left in the game and calling a timeout, challenging that play, Vrabel, I think he's one of the best when it comes to that, having everything under control in crunch time. So that's
he's always calm.
Yeah. The more I think about it, the more I'm starting to like Vrabel.
I do too.
I think Harbaugh could be number one, and then maybe Vrabel 1B, but whatever. Either or is fine. Like I think somebody mentioned earlier, Bill Belichick or Pete Carroll, the age does get to me. Unless they come in with a good plan about, hey, I'm here for a couple of years. This guy right here is the next best thing. Let's make it work here. That's fine too. But maybe a Ben Johnson could get a chance, or maybe a Frank Smith. But I get it. Everybody's kind of worried about that. But yeah, it's a good year to get. You know, for a bit, what we're talking about is like it's gonna be Jim Harbaugh, and it's gonna be maybe Dan Quinn for experienced coaches. Now there's a whole bunch of them. There's 5 of them.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
my bad.
No, my bad. I've been talking too much.
I think what opened up the floodgates for fans though was this clip. Real quick.
Oh yeah.
We were at a funeral about a year and a half ago. Sorry. And we got to talking. Now I want to make very clear. We were not talking about a coaching vacancy. We were not talking about him leaving Michigan, nothing. We were just talking about how great the young quarterback play is in the National Football League. He spent 5 minutes telling me that he thinks that Justin Herbert is the best of all of them. He loves Herbert. Take that for what you will. I do not think that Harbaugh will be back at Michigan next year. I'm not sure what the circumstances are that will cause his departure, but whether they beat Alabama or not, whether they win the championship or not, I do not think he is going to be back at Michigan next year based on all that I think is coming down the road.
That, like, first of all, like, when you're close like that with somebody, you don't just blurt that out on national TV.
Yeah,
like, you
no.
ask his people,
Yeah,
hey, yeah, is it okay if I say, oh, yeah, or they ask you, hey, remember that time? Yeah, why don't you go out and say that? Like, it just seems like it's something perfect for him. Because remember, when he, like, I feel like he sees the Chargers as the 49ers of old, where they were a mess. Their coach got ran out halfway through the year. Because remember, if we go back and look at it, and we said this on regular Compas, like, Patrick Willis was a star, but like Vernon Davis wanted out.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, get me the hell out of here. Alex Smith was looked at as a bust. Like, they had some pieces, but like Jim Harbaugh went in there and exactly. He came in, he moved a lot of stuff around, and he was able to get Alex Smith to go. And then another thing is, and I mean, you can like Colin Kaepernick, you can hate him, whatever. I don't give a shit. But halfway through the year, you completely change your offense and mold it around this guy who's a run-first quarterback who moves around. It's a different style that you hadn't really seen in the NFL. Like, yeah, you had your Donovan McNabbs, your Michael Vicks. Well, not Donovan was more of a pocket passer, but I mean, guys that could slide, that could move in the pocket. Like, you had your Brett Favres, like guys that could move. And all of a sudden, like, this guy could take off running, and he had such long legs and a long stride that he could completely blow past linebackers and everything. And they go to the Super Bowl and everything. He has unfinished business. Like, I'm sure he sees the Chargers and he's thinking, you know what? I could do that, because everybody talks about the cap number of the Chargers. Any good GM could come in and move and shift things around and be able to compete quickly. A good coach like Jim Harbaugh, like Mike Vrabel, like Pete Carroll, they can compete with this roster, especially like we said. This roster is not that bad. It's just you need depth. What do you need with depth? You need a good general manager that can come in, that can draft well. Gilbert, we said the Rams were dead a couple of years ago, and look at them now. They're competing, and a lot of us think that they can go and they can make a run in a couple of they can make a run. But go ahead.
For now, before we move on to the next topic here, I guess what's your feel on the GM? I know people don't really talking, but I know it's also connected to the head coach as well, if it's a big name. But I don't know, what's your sense on it, or what do you feel like they're going to go in that direction?
I mean, I just don't know. I think it's gonna all be what the head coach head coach is gonna say.
Wait and see kind of game.
Yeah, because I don't know. I don't know what. I mean, I wish we could kind of know a little bit more about it, but yeah, I just.
Yeah, and that's really another sign. Like, it's like they're going for the big name and they're waiting for the GM.
Especially because you can't have the dysfunction you've had between the head coach and the GM. Like, people can tell me what they want, again, just from the Chargers video that they posted on their own social media, that it looked like there was no love lost between those two, within the past few years or whatever else. Like, you can't have that level of dysfunction. Mind you, even if we get a Belichick or one of these guys, like, I don't want Bill Belichick being the head coach and GM. Like, I would hope it's kind of like don't get me wrong, have him pick his guy, someone they can work together and be cohesive with. But I mean, don't do this, try and take too much on your plate, this late in the game and everything else. But, I'm good. I get one of those 4 or 5. Oh, sorry. Now I remember what I was going to say. Going back to what you were saying for now about those guys that you mentioned, most importantly, like, how they can fix the cap and all that stuff. Most importantly, players are going to want to play for those guys. They're going to get in the meeting room. They're going to understand that, hey, this is a big culture shock, that, like, there's a new sheriff in town. And, just like Howie Roseman's done it with the Eagles, in the sense that he's like, we're not going to give guys max deals. If you want to stay here and play, stay here and play. There's no reason why the Chargers can't do that with the right vision. Because that's the most important thing, in my opinion. Like, guys will sacrifice the bag a little bit. Number one, if they're real football players and they want to win. And on top of that, they like the vision that they're going in. Because, I mean, in all honesty, you know, I understand why Joey, Keenan, and Mac and half of these guys wouldn't sacrifice, you know, the bag or whatever if they're going 5-12 and stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't take a pay cut either. Like, you're already losing, and on top of that, you're asking me to get less money. Like, I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? But you bring someone who's really going to be an eye opener where it's like, oh, damn, like, it's not the same anymore, dude. Like, this is a lot different. I think right there, guys are going to do whatever it is to stay on the team and probably play.
Imagine Keenan Allen has been there the longest, thinking like, all right, finally, we need something
exactly.
We're trying to win a freaking game.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, I'm sure fans are going to be like, their stomach's going to be in knots for the next, I think it's going to be about 2 weeks, because I think they're going to take their time. They're gonna get through their first slate. I think when they're gonna interview these people, if they haven't already interviewed them on the quiet, is gonna be in that second round, like in that second week. I think Harbaugh really is gonna take about a week off vacation with his family and be like, hey,
Because the in-person interviews are not for another week, right? Or maybe
yeah. But I think he's gonna tell them, you know what, this is about to get crazy in a couple of weeks. Let's go on a vacation. Let's get away. Let's celebrate.
Yeah.
And then comes the craziness. I wouldn't doubt Jim Harbaugh in 2 weeks, even though he hasn't been named a head coach yet. I wouldn't doubt he shows up in Baltimore, whoever his brother's playing, and really causes a commotion and really gets everybody wound up. Like, oh,
well, you know that's going to happen.
What's going on?
You know that's going to happen.
And honestly, like, I actually respected the way the guy asked him, like, what's next for you? And he's like, can I just have this, please? Like, why is it always what's next? Like, I actually respected the way he kind of asked him the question, but you could tell Harbaugh was, but I just don't know, because I'm going to be completely honest. I mean, I've been around this team since 2013, and this just does not seem like a Dean Spanos move. But I mean, anything can happen, anything can change. But if you're going to change and really money's not an issue, then this is the time that you have to choose. You have to, and I know that the Spanoses are asking themselves, like, why does everybody say we're cheap? It's not just the media that says it. It's not just your fan base. It's people around the league. Like, I don't know if you've seen, Gilbert, like the people that have like Mike Sando's article is like somebody from The Athletic. It's other executives saying, well, yeah, the Spanoses don't do this kind of stuff. Like, they're usually pretty tight when it comes to this kind.
Yeah, that matters to people.
Yeah, it's everybody around the NFL that says it. So I think it's kind of like what is it? Ver para creer. Like,
exactly.
Until you really see, like,
imagine getting Bill Belichick and you're cutting corners for like dumb things, or not getting the private jet or whatever things that he had
like,
with Robert Kraft.
If it was me, whatever Jim Harbaugh wanted, I'd be like, you know what, we're
it's
kind of
in
disarray. What do you think is a Dean Spanos move? A Dean Spanos move would be
Ben Johnson or what?
No,
he's asking for 15. Yeah.
No, well, we don't know how much, and I think he's just doing that for the.
It'll be like Dan.
That's what it was.
The second
tier,
like
a Dan. A guy like that, just to like shut everybody up. We got a veteran coach, but somebody who's choked before in the playoffs, like North Turner, like, get the hell out of here. Like, he had been terrible with the Washington. Oh, well, back then there were
Washington.
Yeah. And then and then with the Raiders, he was bad too. So and then they got him, and I'm like, I would have gotten him as an offensive coordinator, not as a head coach. And then you got Mike McCoy, and Anthony Lynn was the only one that you never heard anything about. Like, the players never came out and said anything. Like, some of the stuff that has come out about like Brandon Staley's tenure, you're like, holy crap, like, damn, like, that was pretty crazy. But
that's right. Yeah, Roberto, you better start singing happy birthday to me, or I'm gonna start blowing the top.
Speaking of that, Gilbert, did you see that the Chargers blocked the Giants from trying to get Ryan Ficken an interview with Ryan Ficken?
Yeah,
so,
Ficken. He's a good special teams coordinator. Like, it was such a crap. Maybe that should be one of the best moments of Chargers 2023 is special teams got fixed.
You know why I can't do it? You know why I can't do it? Because I don't know. Well, I think for the last game they had the special teams introduced, and that's
very true.
Everybody did one of those one of those dances. Yeah.
Every national person is saying that it's going to be Harbaugh to the Chargers, and it's like, if you don't come through, that's going to be a really bad look.
Yeah, but that was the same case with Brian Daybo, so we shouldn't just assume it's a for sure.
No, I didn't. No. I'm saying it'd be a really bad look for them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I didn't say that. I'm not. No. What I'm saying
That's
is
why I can't tell the difference between like, hey, let me hit up all my contacts in the NFL insider space to say,
yeah.
Hey, we're making a full effort to get Jim Harbaugh, but like you put it out there to say, hey, if you strike out, hey fans, we try. You saw ESPN, you saw Fox, you saw Compas on the Beat. Let's put us up there.
Shout out.
But we try. So I want to know, is it like a legit, like when the reports come out, maybe they strike out, if they hopefully they don't. But if they do, it's like, hey, they offer this, they offer that. They just love to be at Michigan.
But it's gonna be bad if he goes to Washington or in the NFL. If he stays in college, then it's like, okay, well,
that's the other point.
Like, he's a Michigan man.
With more jobs opening, there's more competition too. Like there's look at that Seattle roster. You don't want to go over there and play.
Exactly. All you need is a quarterback. All you need is a quarterback. Like,
they don't have
what?
Which is hard to do, but that's why the Chargers are in a good spot. They have the best quarterback. What'd you say? Who's garbage?
Geno Smith. I was not a fan of that. But again, this is why I say you don't panic a quarterback. He got paid a crap ton, I thought, to be, a band-aid quarterback. I was like, come on, dude.
This is why I love social media. Like, when I saw this yesterday, I started dying. They're like Pete Carroll, Nick Saban, and Bill Belichick leaving
for real.
jobs. And it's The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H. And they're
that's
like,
hilarious. Even, you know what's funny? Even after that,
legends never die.
Yeah, exactly. Even after that, The Undertaker still wrestled. Triple H still wrestled. I think Shawn was the only one who didn't. But
Shawn didn't wrestle in this one. He was just a special guest referee.
No, I know, but I'm saying like the other two went on to keep wrestling. Like it's not like it was a retirement thing. But what was I going to say? I think Hispanos know now with all the heat they will spend big. I think they have to, honestly, because again, like. You're going to have, I think they're going to lose. They could lose a lot of money if they don't, and I'm talking about money in the sense of merchandising, ticket sales, and all that stuff. They
don't want to get caught in a Gilberto top 10.
They what?
They don't want to get caught in a Gilberto top 10.
Gilberto has that curse, dude. He's got that curse.
I wasn't there all year, and they went 5-12, so it's not my fault.
Okay, I'll give you that one. That one's fair.
Do we have something else real quick or no, Gilbert?
Unless you want to just move on to the draft talk, and I'm okay with that.
Just real quick. Dan, where are you going with this?
Top 5. I'm not a draft guru guy because like I've seen all the tweets where they're like, why are we going to draft a tight end or a receiver so Herbert can get assaulted again? And then it's other people saying, why are we going to draft a tackle if no one's going to get open and stuff like that? So I mean, I don't know. Like the only thing I want, and I'll be honest, is a dog. I'm tired of these first round picks who come in and they do nothing. They have no grit. They have no nothing. Like we need to get dogs on this team. We need the physicality level to come up. We need the pride to come up. You need, that vigor, that intestinal fortitude. Like, let's get a guy who's going to be
first round pick.
If you're talking about Jerry Tillery's ass, get out of here, dude.
I was like, wait, 2019.
You know who loves him? Who loves him? Roger Goodell, because every time he's on the field, he's like, I'm gonna find his ass for something. No worries. He's gonna do something stupid. Here's an unnecessary roughness. Yeah. Fine. Here's a roughing the passer. Fine.
He's easy to find. I'll say that.
So stupid, dude.
I think at one point he had a more
pull up Uncle Joe's tweet.
Then he had sacks. Like that was
again, and I will repeat this until I die. Tom Telesco's claim to fame with his drafts, either we were so bad that we had a top 5 pick and you couldn't really miss, or someone slid down the board. Anyone after, it wasn't like anything amazing. Like
Gilbert, are you ready to give a prediction for the head coach or no?
Make a prediction?
Yeah.
I don't want to disappoint people, but
that's my one issue. Like I don't want to disappoint you guys because I've been on this train for the past few weeks.
Then how about this round? I think they're going to get either for one of those 4 names we keep talking about, Jim Harbaugh, Mike Vrabel, Bill Belichick, or even Pete Carroll. They'll get one of the 4. I think I'm confident in saying that. I don't know which one though. That's my thing.
I think it's going to get
one of those 4.
I think I'll get a big name. One of the 4.
Here's my take. Okay, here's my take. I think Harbaugh wants out of college. I'm sure he already got disappoint us. We're used to it. Shout out to Jorge. He knows.
I think he knows. I think he needs to get out of college because I think the suspension's coming.
Well, hold on. But that doesn't even matter. He gets suspended. He still gets paid. It's not a big deal. Like
where would you, if you were him, where would you get your middle finger on, or where would you get your ring on?
Oh yeah, I'd get on the middle. I'd get a picture of whoever was the college football playoff guys, and I'd recreate the Goodell one and make them all clowns. Like that would be pretty funny. But this is my thing, right? College football now is changing into a semi-pro league. These college coaches, I mean, and honestly, I've been on coaches' Twitter basically on my professional one. You know, a lot of people are saying Nick Saban is getting out basically, and mind you, this is not confirmed. I'm not some journalist. This is me just kind of scrolling and forming opinions. You know, they're basically saying Nick Saban is losing his appeal because of NIL, because of the transfer portal. Like, it's not the same. Like, people would go to Alabama and they would stay because they were with Nick Saban. Like, now it's not like that. It's a lot different. Like, you have to deal with NIL stuff. You have to deal with transfer portal stuff. Like, it's not the same game. And I'm sure Nick Saban, he's like, you know what? Why am I still going to be here? I've already won everything I needed to do. You know, I'm the legend. I'm the GOAT. Like, no one's even going to challenge me. You know what? I'm going to ride off into the sunset. I just wish you would have won one more natty. It is what it is. We don't get a fairy tale ending. It is what it is. But, you know, now on the flip side with Harbaugh, he probably sees the same thing. There's no way it doesn't drive some of these guys crazy because, like, these are the older coaches who remember what it was like before and everything else. Like, and sometimes these guys at this big time program probably tell themselves, especially because the most important thing, he has the option to go to the NFL. Some of these college coaches don't have the option to go to the NFL at all. And it's like in the NFL, you have the problem in the sense of finances, but it's not the same thing. Like, it's not the same.
I didn't ask you for a promo guy. I asked you, who do you?
Well, but that's what I'm getting at.
No,
he probably wants to get out of college because he doesn't want to deal with the NIL.
And it's like, what if he's seeing Seattle? What if he's seeing the Raiders? Like, it's not a lock for sure. It's gonna be Chargers. That's the thing I'm trying to tell people.
I don't see, what do the Raiders have? Aiden O'Connell, maybe Josh Jacobs.
He coached there his first year, and then
their problem is they're still paying Gruden. They're still paying that general manager. Yeah. They're still paying. Like, I think they're gonna want to go cheap in this sense.
They have to.
You know what?
They have
Antonio
to.
Pierce, you're our guy. We want you. We're gonna keep you. The only problem is, I think Washington is the only team that I think could get him. The only problem is, do you really like Drake May? To me, has a lot of question marks. Does he want to go in there and have to teach Drake May, or does he want to already go to someone where he doesn't really have to worry about him? He just has to redefine some things. But he's ready to go
now.
That's exactly my point of emphasis. You're going to pass up the son of Odin to go to that dumpster-filled stadium in D.C.
It's pretty bad.
Vegas, like, even Vegas has its own problems right now. They've looked good under Antonio Pierce. I think Antonio Pierce should be the guy, at least given the opportunity. But like, what? Like, I don't see how you're going to go to the Raiders, who I'd argue Chargers get a competent head coach. They're going to probably be fighting the Broncos back at the bottom of the division. Like, there's a lot more holes to fill, I think, there than there is in LA. I think in LA, most importantly, again, you have the son of Odin, you have some receivers and everything else. Give me, what's his name? Give me Keenan Allen and Mike Williams over Jacoby Myers. Oh, well, Devontae's there, but I mean, who the hell is going to get the ball to Devontae? That's the biggest problem. And who knows if Devontae wants to stay? You know, I'm sure he's probably frustrated that he got traded there to play with his roommate or whatever. His ass gets shit canned to another team and everything else. And I'd trade and take Bowers at number 5 Grover. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't see, in my opinion, like, the Chargers so far, if I remember right, the Chargers are the best opening. You know, Seattle might be another, but Seattle, again, you have to find the quarterback because, you know, you're paying Geno Smith a lot of money to be essentially a Band-Aid and a step over. You know, Drew Lock sometimes shows glimpses to Fernando's. You know, I know it makes Rao angry, but that's okay. Dan and Daygo can be right a few times. Don't worry about it.
Drew Lock
has shown glimpses, but not enough. Like, if you look at that Seattle team, in my opinion, you get a competent quarterback. That's the best landing spot, 100%. They have a solid defense. They have players at receiver. You know what I mean? They have running backs. They're physical. They understand kind of the game. So, but, you know, again, I would take the son of Odin, besides my bias that, you know, I root for the team or whatever.
No.
like I have my coach's cap on, I would rather take the son of Odin and fill everything around him. Because as you'll see in the National Football League, quarterback is the hardest position to fill. There's only 32 of them. Every other position has multiple because there's backups or there's multiple of them on the field. So that's just my opinion. The
other part too that's kind of tricky, Dan, is like if you're really just trying to wait for Jim Harbaugh to come back from Disneyland and celebrate the title, like what happens when people are trying to hire Mike Vrabel or hire these other coaches and it's going fast and fast? Like they shouldn't put all their eggs in one basket. And
I agree. I agree with that.
Get Mike Vrabel either. I'm cool with Mike Vrabel for sure. He's a
100%. I think those are the two targets, in my opinion. Those are the two targets. I'm not going to disrespect everything Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick's done to say they're a 1B or something like that. But like my point of emphasis are those two. But I'm still, bringing Pete in. I'm still bringing Bill in. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, because I just think those guys, their resumes speak for themselves. I still think they're very competent coaches.
Everybody's like, my bad. Everybody's having a heart attack because I guess Diana Rossini went on Colin's show and said that the Chargers are putting a pause on the Harbaugh thing and they're doing their homework on everybody else.
Nothing wrong with that either.
That has nothing that doesn't mean anything.
No. It means as much as them casting a wide net. That doesn't mean diddly squat to me.
Yeah, I hate that. You have to say things like that. We're checking under every rock. We got to check everything.
Horse shit. I've seen some of this.
But yeah,
I've seen this before.
I was gonna tell
if Harbaugh is our coach, who will be the OC because I'm kind of a gentleman, or will be the DC if you could.
I don't know who the OC would be. I mean, first
probably Jim Harbaugh.
He needs to. No, he probably get an OC.
No, he doesn't call plays. But they have the point is they have a long network of coaches over a lifetime of being in the profession. So I have no idea. Maybe he'll bring the Michigan guy. Maybe he knows NFL guys. Who knows, dude?
I wanted to real quick before we head out, Gilbert, thank you so much for your time. You are
I wanted to talk top 5, but everybody wants to talk head coach. So that's not a problem. But I am very intrigued about the top 5 pick real quick. I'll make a quick list. Malik Neighbors, Brock Bowers, Joe Alt, or even you got to give me the research eventually, Dan, because you're the offensive line guru. But let me know how the Alabama guy is, the Penn State guy is. But for now, he's raving about Joe Alt. So those are my 3 guys right there. I do not mind. People want the sexy weapon. I think Fernando does. But Joe Alt, Malik Neighbors, or Brock Bowers, make it happen.
It seems like a lot of fans are like, oh, trade back and everything. And I get it. But like you first have to see who the head coach is, what the team's going to look. That's why I haven't even you can't even dive into this until they get the head coach because and what the roster is going to look like because you don't even know what the roster is going to look like. Because because I mean, like, who is this going to look like? What are they going to be here?
That's true.
The crazy part is, I mean, we're gonna if they do trade back and let's just say there's 8 or 9 or 10, and they get Brock Bowers. I mean, you basically go Dan Fouts, Kellen Winslow, Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates, and then you go Brock Bowers, Justin Herbert.
Well, we got to see first.
Yeah.
But the thing I was saying,
Harbaugh pick for Herbert. How about that?
The other thing I was saying though too, I would still keep Gerald Everett
100%
too, and I feel like they'd be a good 1-2 combo. But yeah, 100%. No, we'll talk draft coming up, and I mean, Gilbert, this is going to be the only time we have you on. The only thing is though, I wanted to before we head out, I did want to show 2 quick things. This one, I just feel like this is plays close to like Dan and I, especially because we do this and we do what's up.
The Dolphins better not fail.
I wanted to show you this from it's not Gilberto's though, but the top quarterbacks of
it wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Wild card weekend.
Yeah, are you ready for this?
I'm a little bit nervous.
Man, Baker 13.
How is Tua not 13? I'd rather take Baker. Jesus, this guy's ass. Is that no one watched the tape? All right, Brock.
And wow.
Well, this guy can sling it. He's looked pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie.
A little too high.
I think he's a little too high. He's looked bad this year. All right, I guess.
Been good.
Okay. We're gonna put him over Stafford. All right. He turns the ball over, but I'll give it to him. Oh, I know where this is going.
Are you ready for number 1?
Lamar's not number 1.
It's gonna be that moron. I will tell everyone right now listening on this live, right now, Justin Herbert is the best quarterback in the NFL. I don't care.
I think they agree.
Tell me. Watch the tape. Okay. Watch the tape. I break it down to these youngsters all the time. They don't understand how to see past the little Twitters and the Tic Tacs and all this other stuff. You know, Justin Herbert, by far the best quarterback in the league with everything he's had to deal with. People forget. This is what really bothers me again. People forget, okay? People, shout out to you, Jose.
Yeah, keep going.
Josue. People forget, all
Josue.
right? When Patrick Mahomes got drafted, they traded up at 15. The Chiefs were already winning the division. They were already in the playoffs. They have a legendary Hall of Fame head coach, offensive mind. All right? Head coach, offensive mind, Hall of Fame. The guy's still coaching. He's already in the Canton.
Let him cook.
Exactly. Sat a year. Okay. Now on the flip side, what does Justin Herbert have to do? Drafted 5th overall because thank God for Miami that 6th, who cares? Whatever. Thank God for Miami that they were stupid enough to draft Tua. Shout out to them. And Justin Herbert came to us. What has happened in Justin Herbert's career? Thrown into the limelight because doctors don't know how to doctor on the sideline. And since then, you know, lit it up with, you know, when Keenan's on the field, maybe. Mike's on the field, maybe. Last year, what he did last year, seriously, with the broken rib or whatever, the rib, the shoulder, he put up top 5 numbers with bad boys on the field. Like, it's unbelievable to me. I don't even want to hear it. Like, Justin Herbert, if you roll the tape, even with he'll make the average receivers look good. And Mahomes has not done that this year. And I'll tell you one thing. Justin Herbert has not turned on his teammates like Sissy Prissy over here has the whole time, bitching on the sideline at these guys. I thought he was a supposed leader.
Trying to fight an official.
It's so stupid. I wish that official would have turned around. You know what I wish? If you could pull up the video, that video when Floyd Mayweather goes, "You don't know shit about boxing." And the guy tells him, "I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass." But you know what I'm saying? Like, give me Justin Herbert over all these guys. You put Justin Herbert on half of these teams, you're undefeated. That's it. That's all I can say. He is the young GOAT. I've been saying this, like, objectively. Coaches had on draft board of quarterbacks. I can take number 1. Give me Justin Herbert 100%. He's a hell of a leader. He's a competitor. He's always on the field no matter what. He's not going to start limping and doing all this weirdo dramatic stuff and point and at the officials, it's on them and all this other stuff. Like, it just pisses me off, dude.
Is
this the magical fit?
This is not the right video.
Oh, no. This is the right video. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. This is where he starts trying. Yeah.
Oh,
I can't. Him complaining about officials is such a joke to me because he can thank the officials for those 2 rings he has at his house over there. Like, this is so disgusting to me. And I think I'm a little bit, you know, I wish Andy Reid would get a better lid on this because this is ridiculous. I see a player throw a helmet, I'm gonna lose my mind. I would bench his ass probably. I don't know.
All right.
It's unbelievable. Give me Justin Herbert. Give me the young.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody so much for jumping on for jumping on and everything. Jorge, Dennis, our
shout out to all you guys, dude. Josue,
Ireland, Josue,
our boy from Ireland,
Berlin, Jose, everybody from Robert, everybody for jumping on and commenting. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for our our end of the season review.
Don't forget to subscribe to What's Up Boats real quick. Subscribe.
And Gilbert, you take it away. And
let me do some promos real quickly. If you are here and you're new and you're a Chargers fan, you love what Dan is cooking up, you love Fernando, and I'm just here just to be here. But subscribe to What's Up Boats. Subscribe to Compas on the Beat. You like this cool thing I got here? Yeah, I do suck. Subscribe to the channel, and then also you want to help us get to Super Bowl Radio Row in Las Vegas. I like this big screen right here.
I know, for real. Yeah, this is your moment.
Too, so I look pretty good on the
yeah.
But yeah, we're trying to get to Super Bowl Radio Row in Las Vegas. You want to help us out? Join us for another live or whenever you feel like it. Jump on and do a super sticker, a super like, or a super whatever. I keep saying that, and that will go a long way to helping the network grow. To buy equipment, to get housing for doing interviews in person, or if you want to get some merchandise, some merch, you should probably do the promo, Dan. That's your job, by the way. But you want a Compas on the Beat hoodie, a Compas on the Beat hat, a Compas on the Beat shirt, a Compas on the Beat boxers.
What?
Check out the link in the description. There you go. I'm terrible. CertifiedCompas.shop. Link in the description.
The hoodie's
buy
worth
some
that,
merch.
dude.
And then if you want to just donate, just give us free money. Give us all your money if you want.
Shout
Yeah,
out
Daryl, you
Daryl.
got it right. Dan, you
Shout
are
out
a
Daryl.
wise man. Well said. But you want to
Shout out
support
Daryl.
Dan. Dan's a poor man. He just came back from Nashville. So give him
true.
some money. There's a PayPal link in the description for donations, but it goes to Dan. It goes to me. It goes to Fernando. But I cannot get through this promo here. But if you had Brother Jackson, I'm sure you would go what
Cuckoo too. Yeah, I would go. Yeah, I would go crazy. If
But
Jackson was my brother,
check
I
out the
would've
links in
killed
the
him.
description. You can help out the channel. But just being here and talking to her, this makes my day. It makes Dan's day. It makes Fernando's day. Subscribe, be a compa, tell a compa. And yeah, if you order a Compas hoodie, we order like 5 in the next couple hours, I'll eat a bunch of guacamole. How about that, Jorge?
Ooh, Jorge.
And then also, if you donate $100 right now, if you want, I'm gonna jack up the price on the donation link on the PayPal. You get 1 date with Dan and Daygo. How about that, Dan? Can I put you out there for that? It's $100. It's a lot, okay, Dan? You're worth a lot to me.
Speaking of $100, dude.
Yeah.
So the first night we got to Nashville, I swear to God,
What'd you buy?
I probably spent $100 on alcohol in a bar.
Oh,
like
Jesus.
Like, dude, Sunday morning was the first day of the convention, and I was fine because I have my routine.
Oh, by the way, you have to buy drinks the first night at Radio
Yeah,
Radio Row because you lost.
Let's add the wild card in there of how many hot takes that were correct this year, even though I was mocked. That way, it gives me 4 or 5 more. That's fine. Don't worry. I'll buy you a Vic a drink. That's all good.
What about me?
I'll buy you some soda. I'll get it for you. No worries. Hey, by the way, even though we're on here, shout out Dennis, Compas Bros Rock. Shout out to you. Thank you, my guy. Thank you, Burley. Pop, I always love you, my baby.
We should just spend the next 2 minutes you saying thank you to everybody, and we'll leave after that.
Shout out. Hey,
you're making him read.
One thing I'll tell you,
don't you hear? You just got back from Tennessee,
dude. Friday in Vegas, like I want a Vegas experience. We're freaking going out, dude.
All right, thank you guys so much for checking out our live. We will be back. We'll have updates for you guys. We'll do some stuff, but check out everything else on Compas on the Beat Network. Don't forget to check out everything else. We will be back next week. Dan is back, so now we will have him back on the podcast, and
better than ever.
You'll have all of his takes this week. So thank you guys so much for checking it out. Have a great rest of your week and have a great weekend. Hey, this weekend you might see a frozen cheetah on Saturday night on Peacock.
His ass better heat up. I need those Chiefs to go down, dude.
So make sure you guys check that
Jorge.
out. But thank you guys so much. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to be a compa, tell a compa. Thank you guys so much.